What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today we're talking about Call of Duty World War II, and specifically we're going to be talking about Divisions, whether they're good, whether they're bad, what is good about them, and what I think should change. But as of today, we actually got an update from Activision talking about the things that will actually change from weekend 1 of the beta to weekend 2 of the beta. So I real quickly just wanted to go through that, and then we'll get into talking about the Divisions. So, the things that are going to change is they're adjusting domination from 50 points a kill to 100 points a kill. I think this is really good. This is actually going to change things for me, because up to this point, I was only playing hardpoint because it was 100 points per kill, plus you could get objective points. So now, I think I'm going to be playing a lot more domination. Also, on top of that, they're going to be increasing the TDM kills from 75 to 100, so it's going to extend the length of TDM just a little bit. Another one is hit feedback improvements, including better audio and more obvious headshots indicators. This one surprised me because I thought they already did a pretty good job at this, so I'm curious to see how much better they actually make that. On top of that, they are nerfing the Molotov. So the Molotov is one of the kill streaks. Instead of having 2 Molotovs, we are now going to have 1. Also, sprint out and ADS time refinements. Hopefully what this means is that they are shortening the sprint out and ADS time for weapons other than SMGs. I think it's already pretty decent for SMGs. However, I feel like assault rifles and LMGs are at a huge disadvantage compared to that. Also, they said that incendiary shells are no longer going to be directly loaded into your weapon. They're going to be left out and you have to manually load them. They also said that perhaps they need to be nerfed. However, they are not nerfing them yet. Also, they're giving the paratrooper a little bit of a buff. It is the highest score streak in the beta as of right now, and they said that they are buffing the strength of the soldiers and cost balancing, so assumingly it's going to cost less. And finally, they're going to increase the health of the recon or UAV against specifically rifle damage. I don't think they're changing anything to do with explosives, but it's now going to be harder to shoot down recons with just a simple weapon. So this means 2 things to me. First of all, it means that they are listening. They are taking in feedback and changing things people want to see changed. The second thing it means is that they're openly giving us contact with the developers. They're saying exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it, and this is something we very rarely see in Call of Duty, and I think that's really, really good news. As long as they keep up that communication throughout the whole life cycle of the game, I think we're in for a really good year. The only thing that I will say that I think should change on top of these things is I think SMGs are just a little bit too strong. But I have another video coming out later this week talking about that. As of right now, let's get into talking about Divisions. So what is Divisions? For all extensive purposes, Divisions is simply create a class. That is really all that it is. So how does this work? Basically, as of right now, you're able to select 1 primary weapon, which you are able to equip 2 attachments to, a secondary weapon that you're able to equip 1 attachment to. You also have 1 grenade, not 2 grenades like we're used to seeing in Call of Duty. You also have a basic training skill, which for all extensive purposes is a perk, and then your division, which each division has basically 3 to 4 of their own perks that are then equipped to your class. So instead of thinking of your division as a division, more think of it as a set of perks. So what does this do to the create a class system? Basically, it simplifies it. It makes it so you can only use certain perks in conjunction with others by grouping them together in the divisions. And then if you go through and look at all of the basic training perks, they're very simple. There isn't too many of them that are really going to change the way your class works. But we're going to look at all of the division skills and then all of the perks and kind of talk about what I would like to see change, because really there's one major thing that I would like to see change. So I think the best way to compare this is to really go through and look at every single division and the perks you actually get from them. So as you level up your division, that is when you unlock the individual perks. So for example, the infantry division, when you're at level 1, all you have is the rifle bayonet. Level 2, you get an additional primary attachment, so this means you can have 3 attachments on your primary weapon. When you're at level 3, you get extra magazines, so more ammo, and at level 4, you move faster while aiming down sight, so it's essentially like attaching a stock attachment in other Call of Duty games. So those are the perks you get with the infantry division. If you level up to level 5, you then get that division's classified weapon. Now, assumably, every time you prestige in game, these are going to reset a along with your overall level, but we don't have any full information on that as of yet. So the basic way to look at the infantry division is it's like, give me more stuff. You get a bayonet, you get an additional primary attachment, additional magazines, and you can move faster while aiming down sights. After this, we have the airborne division. So with the airborne division, at level 1, you get the SMG suppressor, which I think needs a little bit of a buff. It really nerfs the range when you put it on any of the SMGs. On top of that, at level 2, you get sprint for longer distances. At level 3, you can climb over obstacles faster. And at number 4, increased sprint speed. Basically, the airborne division is move fast as you freaking can. In the armor division, you get the LMG bipod at level 1. At level 2, you are immune to shell shock and tactical equipment. At level 3, take less fire damage, and level 4, take less explosive damage. This is actually the class I have the problem with, because I think there should be basic training for these exact things as well, especially take less explosive damage, because when it comes to competitive play, and you play a game mode like Hardpoint or Domination, it is so necessary to have the take less explosive damage. So I think it should be offered as a division, because it's a good division for objective game modes, but I think it should also be offered as a perk or basic training as well. So, for example, I could use airborne and still be able to run around fast, but also be able to be immune or take less, at least, explosive damage. The reason why I say that is because every single perk in this class is extremely important for objective game modes. Immune to tactical, less fire damage, which includes like Molotovs and incendiary shells, and on top of that, take less explosive damage is hugely important for objective game modes. And I think that really also needs to be available in a perk as well, at least for the explosive damage. Up next, we have the Mountain Division, and at level 1, you get Sniper's Sharpshooter, which basically allows you to hold your breath and get a little bit of aim assist. At level 2, you are invisible to enemy recon aircraft while moving, so basically Ghost from other Call of Duty games. At level 3, you get hidden to player-controlled streaks, and at level 4, you get Silent Movement, aka Dead Silence. So, a lot of really good perks there, especially if you're trying to be sneaky. Unfortunately, it really kind of tries to force you to only be able to have that with sniper rifles. Of course, you are able to use this with SMGs and other weapons, but they try to force it to you with just sniper rifles. So then we have the Expeditionary Division, and this one you get the incendiary shotgun shells, which we already talked about at the very beginning of the video. At level 2, you get an extra piece of tactical or lethal equipment, so you can have an extra grenade. At level 3, you get throw equipment faster and farther. I don't think this one's necessary. I think you can already throw the grenades definitely far enough. And at level 4, you get resupply equipment from killed enemies. So whereas normally with Scavenger you would get extra ammo, this one you also get extra grenades and that kind of thing as well. So basically what this does is it groups perks together. For example, if we look at the Armored Division, you are able to be immune to shell shock, tactical equipment, take less fire damage, and take less explosive damage. Those are all things that go well together, but you aren't able to choose them as perks just as one at a time. And could that change? Yeah, it's completely possible that they offer Flak Jacket or Lightweight or something like that as an actual basic training instead of just in the divisions, but we simply don't know if that's a thing yet. So as far as divisions go, are they good? Are they bad? Are they horrible? I think they're good, and not necessarily because I think they're better than the Pick 10 system. I love the Pick 10 system. I think that will always be my favorite type of creative class, but it's good because it's different. I like change in my Call of Duty games. I know not all people like change, but I like change. I like to see them change things up and make them a little bit different. And the division system does just that. It completely changes the way you go about making classes. Now you have to choose a division, which is a grouping of perks, whereas before you could choose individual perks and basically make whatever class you want. So it's going to really change up the balance of the game, and I think for a good thing, at least for a year of Call of Duty, I think it's going to work. Here's the only other thing I will say, is that I feel like a lot of the basic training perks are nowhere near as the perks you get per division, and I feel like this is by design. They want to make the decision of what division you use a lot harder compared to what basic training you use, and I think that's completely fair. The only thing I will say is I would love to see a little bit stronger of basic training perks. For example, if you look at like Gunslinger, for example, Gunslinger, you are able to fire while sprinting or while diving, which is a good perk, but it's nowhere near as good as something like Lightweight, where you just always sprint faster, which you get through the airborne division. So I'm curious to see if they add perks like that in come the full game, or if that's something they were planning on from the very beginning, making it harder to choose what division is best for you. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know what you like better down in the comment section below. Do you prefer the pick 10 system? Do you like the division system? What do you think of it? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, it'd be fantastic if you could hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button, as I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars.